Now I told you I was gonna give you something. Straight, no chaser. You was gonna leave here with something. All right. There were some troubling text messages and stuff that triggered me a few years ago, 2019. Kind of went lay low for a little while, and then I started researching pastors. A lot of pastors, different denominations and whatnot. But a personal experience with a specific pastor, Emmanuel Olowokere, I use the term pastor loosely. His wife and one of their church member attorneys ended up with me in court, like sheriff at my door, getting served, banging on the door, and I have to explain to my then 8 and 6 year old why there's a sheriff at the door and they're scared. And, you know, it's fine. I have explained it and I've gone through the whole drama. But for those of you that didn't know, yes, it is pretty real. All right. There's stuff on there. I'm not going to go into too much detail. A lot went down. And generally speaking, I'm not going to sit here and give you a 7 hour update. But what happened from my perspective and my experience of me being taken to court is I learned some very questionable behavior that Pastor Emmanuel was involved in, particularly sleeping with other people's wives. Okay. I got some facts. I got some proofs. I did some discovering. And I didn't know that someone let him know ahead of time, but someone had let him know that, hey, Moss knows what's going on. He has proof and this and that. So he decided to be meeting with me in private, in my opinion, to try to get ahead of it, confessing to whatever I presented. Like, so for example, this is an example. If I know of 20 women, I'm not going to tell him about all the 20 women I know. I present one to him. I present the evidence to him. And he go, okay, yeah, I did. And I'm like, okay, how many others are there? No, none, nothing. We go a few weeks and then I'll present more evidence. And he goes, oh, okay, you know that one too. I did that too. Yes, I slept with her too and whatnot. We were meeting every week for no less than 3, 4, 5 hours every meeting. We met 20 to 30 times. And he's confessing to things that he's doing. Mind you, none of this has made any website or anything. I've been paying a lot to keep this information very private and very kosher. But we had a lot of meetings, and I kept trying to find out if his wife knew about it. That's Jumuke Olowokere. And I wanted to meet with her, but he kept putting it off, kept pushing it. Eventually, I think I really emphasized that I really need to meet with her to know what's going on. And I met with her about 3 times. The reason it was important for me to meet with her was because when I was in the stage of gathering facts, I'd heard several people say things about, oh, she knows, I've confronted her. She tried to act like da. I can't verify those. Those are he said, she says or whatnot. So I wanted to meet with her personally to see what she knows, right? And what she may or may not know. So in my personal experience, in my meeting with her, I shared with her one of the people the pastor was sleeping with. I shared with her, does she know? She said, yes, she does. I said, did your husband let you know? She's like, yeah, eventually when you were meeting with him, he let me know. Okay. What are you doing about it? Oh, we're praying about it. What do you, like, you're praying about it? Now, this person who I shared with her gave me the liberty to share their name with her. I asked the person, did she ever follow up? Did she ever do it? No. Nothing. And I'm like, what? Nothing. She was really careful with her words and really short. Now, when I kept pressing and asking questions that were unraveling is when there was a shutdown. That's when there was a complete shutdown and everything, and she didn't want to talk anymore. It's not up until recent that one of my advisors is bringing it to my attention that, look, not only is she smarter than him as you think, she works in corporate America, and she's worked in corporate America for decades. So she's had a lot of practice. And I was like, oh, I never thought about that. She was very short, but the more questions I asked and the more I leaned into things, the more she was like, nah, I don't want to, she would, but from my experience, she knows, she's aware. I offered to give way more names. She was just like, She didn't follow up, didn't do anything, which was strange to me. But That's been my experience. I was hoping and praying that they would have a come to Jesus moment where they would, do the right thing. I stopped by the church a few times, but in my opinion, what I think happened is they didn't want what I knew to become known in public to other people. So they start trespassing me. And then they start doing all these interesting things. Now, I've been a church member for years. I've given hundreds of thousands. I've donated iPads, iPhones, Blackberries to this building. Remember, this is all building God's kingdom, house of God, and this is our house of God and whatnot. They trespassed me. As soon as they knew that I could tell the truth to certain people, which they didn't want known, they started attacking me. That's why they have a police officer out front. They really said that in court, that they have a police officer out front because of me. All right. They trespassed me. Mind you, that's not really that big of a deal. If you own a business, especially in the state of Minnesota, you can trespass anyone for any reason. And you can do it for only 12 months. So they did that, which I was trespassed. That should have been over by now, or whatnot. So I was trespassed. And then they start filing HROs. You should look it up. I can't go into too much details because we don't have time. But a HRO is really a harassment restraining order. And the burden of proof is really low on it. So really, if you feel threatened by someone or if someone's harassing you, it's really meant to protect people really being harassed. Judges just pretty much approve them. To have one or three denied is really shocking. I had someone who was an attorney just looking up statutes, was trying to find precedents of people having HROs turned over and then reached out to me and texted me. I was really surprised. They're like, yeah, those aren't really not approved often at all. Like, how did you do it? How did you do this? Look, God helped me. God helped me a lot. And a lot of evidences that I was able to gather helped me a lot. You have Pastor Emmanuel and Jumi come into court saying that I'm threatening to kill. I'm threatened to extort. I have a gun. Their attorney, Yemisi, says I have a gun and I'm going to kill. Mind you, to date, I've never owned a gun. I don't have a gun. I've never applied for a gun. But all those things are made. Now, if you know me personally, you know how absurd that may sound. But a judge who has never seen me before, never heard of me, got really scared. Some judges would be really scared. Some would get inflamed and, in the environment of these church shootings and whatnot. But they said a lot of things where I'm guessing they expected that a judge would just approve and they would use that to damage my character, which could end me up in jail. Those are some pretty serious accusations. In one of their exhibits, if you ever get to it, it's Exhibit 21. They discussed on there in recording about how, oh yeah, we're going to get him and he's going to go to jail. So those are the attacks I was dealing with. And fortunately, God has been on my side, prepared me, spoke with my legal team, have one of the best attorneys in the state of Minnesota. Man, he was in court, cross-examining. He was turning him every way but loose. Boy, I'm telling you, I learned so much. That was my first run. I learned quite a lot. Okay. And fortunately, the judge saw through all the nonsense. I was really impressed with the judge's understanding of things and how he could see through all kinds of BS and all kinds of nonsense. I'm really thankful to God for being with me, guiding me, giving me the mentors around to help navigate me through this period. And we did win all three cases, and there was no HRO issued on any of them. I'm very thankful for that. So for those of you who are slow in the back, I am saying clearly, this is me. Sola Olowokere sleeps with people's wives, other people's wives. He will listen to their issues. He will listen to their vulnerabilities, and he'll use it to sleep with them. This is happening. Now, for those of you who don't know, I just exposed myself, I guess, to something that could be considered defamation if it's not true. But if it is true, and I can prove it, that can't be defamation. You don't even need a lawyer to defend you or to represent you in getting a defamation on something that direct. So, if you, man of God, want to take me to court again, I had my first freshman experience. I'm ready to explain more and share more. You will find out how John and Jane Does can be introduced in court, how a lot of the evidences can be used. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to get the transcripts where you're on record saying you never confessed about anything and your wife saying she doesn't know about anything, right? We'll get all that information straight and we'll go through all the evidences. Mind you, all the times the man of God or whatnot you want to call him was meeting with me, I made sure to document everything I could. Video, text, audio, everything. All right. And some of them, little bits were used in court for the HRO. The rest of them will be used whenever I have to defend myself. I'm speaking the truth. And if I have to defend myself, I'll do everything I can to defend myself. I'll defend my family. You're not going to HRO me and send me to jail. And then my kids don't have a father. My wife has no husband. My sister has no little brother. Well, that she really likes. She got another one. But you're not going to take me away from my family. All right. I'll do everything to defend myself. And I stand on that. So, action point. For those of you that keep saying, oh, how can I help? And trying to take me to dinner and all these things kind of late. Or what's next? Nah, you don't have to worry about that. What we're going to do now is we're going to raise funds. The transcripts that I need, the transcripts, you have to get the case number, or you can just search my name or the pastor's name at the Dakota County courthouse, any Dakota County courthouse. The transcripts are about 400 or over 400 pages, and they will run somewhere, let me check here, about 2,700 or a little over 2,700. Now, I've paid for my attorney and everything out of pocket, out of my kids' college funds, out of our investments and whatnot. If all of you so much care now and so much, oh my God, Moyo, remember you, oh, we want to help and this and that. Well, let's come together as a community and let the truth be known. My fees, my attorney fees for the first half, the first 3 cases are a little over 15,000. I paid it. The transcripts are about 2,700. We're running close to 20,000. Raise funds. You can send it, Zelle it, Cash App it. Let's raise it together. We want the transcripts. You want to know the truth, right? Once we can raise at least the 2,700, I'll pay for the transcripts. For those of you who want to support, or you're claiming you want to support, but you don't want your name involved and this and that, look, I'm pretty professional. There's no one who's advising me that you know about. I keep that kosher. But if you're worried, it's my birthday. Actually, it's my anniversary. Okay, it's my half birthday. It's my kid's birthday. Y'all know y'all come up with many ways to get support out without being too obvious. Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong in supporting the right cause. But if you want to be discreet, you don't want your name directly linked to this, I completely understand. Again, it's my anniversary. We're celebrating all month. It's my birthday coming up, my daughter's birthday. So there are many ways you can. But I really want this to be a community effort. For me to sit down and have a 3, 4, 5 hour update with 20, 30, 40 people, I can't do that. I really just don't have the bandwidth for that. This has cost me a lot in time, effort, resources, not just my attorney fees and whatnot. So I'm trying to streamline it and keep it, if y'all really want the right things done and y'all really want justice to be served or whatever you want to term it, support, donate, and let the truth be told. All right. Thanks for your interest. Thanks for your care for me. And I really appreciate it. And I thank you for those who are praying for me and those who have checked on me, checked on my family. I really appreciate it. All right. Now unto he that's able to keep me from falling and present me blameless in his presence with exceeding joy. To the only wise God be glory, majesty, dominion, and power forevermore. I'll see y'all soon. Love. See the love do? Yeah, there you go. Thank you.